something really good, a hot topic in the news this week. He's been charged with crime. This is a show where I try to educate real stories. Thank you for watching Truth and Justice with Vivian King. I have an exciting show for you tonight. I have a young man in the studio that did 25 years in prison, and this is part 2 of the Brian Young story. The first show that we talked about with Brian, he told us about what he did to get there. Now we're going to focus on life inside the penitentiary. And we will talk a little bit more about pre-sentence investigation reports too. I want to remind you that one of the reasons why I do this show here in Houston, Harris County, Texas, is because I used to get so many phone calls from mothers asking me, you know, why did my son doing so much time? The lawyer said that it was his first aggravated robbery, he could get probation. So he pled guilty to a pre-sentence investigation report, which means basically you're throwing yourself on the mercy of the court. The probation department does a background assessment of you and kind of makes a recommendation to the court. The prosecutor makes a recommendation and the defense attorney makes a recommendation. The defense attorney can do their own memo on you, on your client, and why they should get probation. But the judge can give you on an aggravated robbery case, you can get from 5 years to 99 years to life in prison. And even if you do get deferred adjudication, if you mess up, you can still get up to life in prison because it doesn't hold your sentence. Now, if you plead guilty and it's just straight probation and you get like 10 years probation, then if you violate, the most you can get is 10 years. But if you get deferred adjudication, because it's not a conviction, it's deferring the adjudication of your guilt, then once you violate, the judge still has the whole range of punishment. That's the danger with deferred adjudication. So if you get in trouble and you're not trying to do right, it's best to just go on and get just a regular on probation, because however many years you get, but you can only get up to 10 years in prison to get probation. It has to be between 5 and 10 if it's a first-degree felony. Right. So aggravated robbery is a first-degree felony. So I'm just going through a little of the basics because Brian was a young man and he pled to a PSI, and he expected, his lawyer said, well, I don't think the Judge Joe Keagan is going to give you more than 25 years. That's what the prosecutor offered. So I'm going to let Brian tell you his story. So Brian, let's talk about that PSI again. Let's start there. Let's start right there before you go to prison.
Okay, yeah. So you know, me being, first of all, I want to say that, you know, and I want to put God in this.
Yeah, say what you got to say.
God sent a few people my way to let me know that what I was signing for wasn't in my best
interest.
That's what I'm looking for. But you know, me being young, I was like, man, the hell with what everybody else talking about. This is my life. This is what I want to do, and this is what I'm signing for. I felt like I was guilty, and I felt like this was my only way of maybe sliding through the cracks by going through this pre-sentence investigation. And it was like, okay, well, the worst thing that could happen is I get 25 years.
Now, why did you think that was the worst thing that could happen to you?
Because the lawyer told me the worst thing that could happen is you're going to get 25 years.
Why was that?
Because she knew the judge personally. She said, I know the judge personally. And even though she can, she got to look, she said, even though she can, she covered herself like that. Even though she can, but I agree, I think that she won't. And then like you said in one of the last interviews that you knew Joe Keagan, it's like she really kind of let people, you know, she really be kind of lenient. But this situation, she was like, you been in this court before, I ain't trying to hear that. I don't want to see the PSI. We send you straight to penitentiary. 45 years.
Bam. And it started with a plea bargain. So when you get to court, you're either going to plead guilty or not guilty. If you didn't do it, you plead not guilty. You go to trial. If you're guilty, you want to try to work it out because you don't want a jury of 12 people to come and you got an aggravated robbery where you shot somebody or put a gun in somebody's face and taken something from them, or a knife or some serious weapon. You don't want that to happen because the jury is going to take it out on you, because everyone in Harris County has been a victim of crime, even if it's just burglary of your motor vehicle. So people pissed off about that. So you don't want to go through a jury if the evidence is going to show that you're guilty.
Right.
Unless you think you can beat the DA's rec. So the DA plea bargains with you. So the plea bargain here, you said you had, who was your prosecutor?
25. The prosecutor was Kim Ott.
Okay, that's before she became the DA. That's when she was an assistant district attorney.
Yes. Kim Ott. So
And you said she came back in the holdover and talked to you, right?
she came back and told me, she was like, look, you don't want to play these games with me. Either you sign for this 25, or I'm going to stack every sentence you got, and I'm going to run them. I'm not going to run them CC. I'm going to make you do time for time. So you got to look at, I had like, I think 11 cases. So if you give me 45 on all cases, that means I would have to do a sentence, and then after that sentence stopped, I would have to do another sentence and do another sentence. And so basically, I would have never got out.
And that's called consecutive.
That's called unconsecutive.
No, that's called consecutive. Yeah, that's called consecutive because you do one and then it's consecutive with another one.
Right.
What you're talking about is CC, that's concurrent.
Concurrent, yeah.
So that's concurrent.
When you say consecutive,
when you say you hear concurrent and you hear them say CC, that just means concurrent sentences. So concurrent. And they're using the two C's in the one word.
Right.
That's why they say CC, concurrent. So you're doing them together.
Right.
So you get, if you got 45 years on, or say you got 45 on one, you got 25 on another one, you're going to do the 25 with the 45 concurrently. And generally, when you go to TDC, they're going to run it concurrent. That's the norm. So the prosecutor has to ask for a motion to stack, and the judge has to grant it, and then that's when it's run concurrently. Consecutively. Consecutively. One consecutively after the other one. Okay. So she said she was going to run it consecutively. Stack it is an easier, colloquial way, common way of saying it. So did that scare you?
I mean, knowing that I was guilty, and then she had went into details about some of the things that she knew that she could pull out, like how my hairstyle was, the little part I had in my hair when I went to the ATM. She had detailed. Now, I don't know if she had detail because she actually had the pictures, or somebody that was arrested with me said this, but I know she knew what she was talking about. So now, I know I don't want to play with her about the 25, but my lawyer made me feel like it was another option that possibly I could get probation if I signed for the pre-sentence investigation. Even though, knowing that I had a lengthy juvenile record because I went to juvenile 18 times, there was nothing good to present to the judge for me to even get probation. Like, why? Like, but here I am, nothing to lose, 25 years, the most, that's what the lawyer said. So I'm gonna take my chances. And
you were on probation for burglary of a vehicle, right?
Right.
Burglary.
Right.
So, yeah, okay. So back then, burglary of a vehicle, which is, was it burglary of a habitation?
It was unauthorized. It was burglary of a vehicle. But and it wasn't even I was riding with a friend, and my friend had some stuff in his car that they had burglarized. But because I was riding with him, I ended up going to jail too.
And you took probation for that.
And I took probation for that, right.
So I, as a lawyer, tell young people, if you didn't do it, let's fight it. You fight your first case, because that first case can end you up in a world of trouble.
Right.
So fight the first one. Most people don't, because you can usually get probation for the first one. So people just want to get probation, get out of jail, get it over with. But that's really the beginning of the end. If you didn't do it. Now, if you did it, probation is obviously it's a good alternative. But yeah, clients I had, I wouldn't let them do that.
They sent me to boot camp, 90 days. Still probation, but you got to do 90 days in boot camp, and then you do the rest of the probation at home. So it's still adjudicated.
Right.
So meaning that if you mess up, they can give you whatever range of punishment they wanted to.
Yep.
So it's like, I knew the law. I knew that if you sign for what I thought I knew the law. Let me back that up. Because in '93, it wasn't half yet. It was 1/4 or 1/3.
Right. '93, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't half yet. So I'm thinking that the new law was gonna go in effect in '94, September '94, but the new law snuck up on me in '93. So me thinking that I'm outsmarting the system, which not it ain't really outsmarting because you ain't supposed to be doing the stuff that I was doing anyway. But I'm thinking I got a little time to play with before. If I get caught and it's aggravated, then it ain't gonna be half.
Right.
But when I got there and they offered me 25 and told me, and here's the lawyer, she's so calm and cool with it. She's showing me, okay, they give you 25, you're gonna have to do 12 and a half. 12 and a half? Where that come from? It's supposed to be 7.
Right.
Nah, I mean 3, it's supposed to be 3 and a half, really. So she said, nah, it's 12 and a half. The new law went in effect. And so you gotta do half of 25. And she making it look all easy, but I got a little girl. My baby mother, if that's a good word to say, she was pregnant at the time. So I'm thinking about my little girl. I'm like, 12 years, I can't let her know that I've been gone for 12 and a half years.
Right.
So I'm not finna sign, I'm 17, 18. I'm not finna sign for no 12 years of my life to be missing out of my daughter's life.
Right.
So, like I said, the worst thing that can happen is I get to 25. That's what I thought.
That's what you thought. But the lawyer did tell you, but Keagan can give you more.
Right.
But she knew Keagan and she didn't think Keagan would do
Right.
that.
So that's just like meeting a friend. A friend say, hey, you want to spend the night? And you be like, yeah, I want to spend the night. You sure your wife going to let me stay there? And you're like, well, she let everybody else stay there. Yeah, she'll let them. When you get to the door and she look at you, she be like, nah, he can't stay here tonight. Then you be like, but bro, you told me I could stay and you brought me way over here. I don't got no way to get home. Or you could be his mama, his mama, that's a good scenario when you're young. Mama gonna let you spend the night, and mama be like, nah, because ain't no telling what he did before.
Right.
With the other people he let spend the night, and she like, nah, I told you, wasn't nobody else coming to spend the night. That's the same thing with Joe Keagan. Joe Keagan was like, nah, he been in here before, and yeah, I probably would have went along with the 25. But because I done seen his face already, nah, I'm going with the 4. I think he need a little bit more time than what y'all offered him. And she gave me that, and I was so, like, I'm looking like you were looking. I'm so apart. I learned that word, apart. I'm so apart because I'm looking like, I can't believe she gave me 45 years.
I know, you were in shock.
I'm super shocked. And now I'm doing the math, because now I went from 12 and a half to 22 and a half. So that's 10 extra years, but it's 20 extra years if you count the whole sentence up, but it's 10 extra years to come up for parole. So now I'm doing 10 more years.
And you even expected.
That I even expected. Then I picked up 5 more years while I was in there. So.
Wow. Now, one of the things you said, I'd have to check on the law, because I think if the crime happened in '93, you were supposed to be sentenced under that law. I don't think
in '94.
Oh, the crime happened in '94.
Yeah, January '94.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that's when you got sentenced in January.
I thought I had time. I thought I had enough time to get away with some stuff.
What did you think was, so the crime that you
I thought
did before Keagan was not in '93, it was in '94?
It was in '94,
Oh, yeah,
but
no, you didn't have no time then.
yeah, I thought the law was gonna go in effect in September of '94.
I thought that's when it went into, but maybe it was January.
It was January '93, and then I could still fight that because I'm still some kind of way I feel like they messed up. Because '93 to '95.
Yeah, it seems like it was something going on. One of the reasons why most people stayed is because '94 is when they opened up the state jails.
Right.
So they just had more space. And so they just kept you longer. It wasn't because of the parole laws. It was that, because most people going in there with, crack, 25 to life, a little crack rock, forgeries, 25 to life, because your third offense. So all of those nonviolent offenses, they put you in state jail.
Right.
And that opened up half the beds in TDC. So then they could keep you longer.
Because at first it was just a revolving door.
It was a revolving door.
That's what they called it too, the revolving door.
It was called a revolving door. A lot of times if you got 2 years TDC, you never even went to TDC.
Right, you never even went.
You never even went.
3 years.
3 years.
3 years, you just do a turnaround.
They turn around. Yeah, you didn't even do it. So yeah, you got caught right when they had more jail space.
Right.
So in '94, they had more jail space. So,
Right.
yeah, Joe Keagan was interesting. I only had, as a defense attorney, I only had one plea before her, and it was for aggravated robbery.
Right.
But she let my guy get deferred adjudication. I never
Right.
heard from the family anymore. But she was the type that the lawyer and you could go and talk to her about it, and like judges can't plea bargain, so you
Right.
have to either plead guilty to them or not guilty to them, and let you sentence them. But she would let the lawyer and the prosecutor and the defense attorney to say, well, is it a bad one? And they knew her, so the prosecutor said, no, it's not a bad one.
Right.
So she said, okay, well, I'll go ahead and give him probation. And she did.
Right.
So she would do that sometime. Back then, nobody would hardly give probation, so it was
Right.
unusual. And I think your lawyer probably did think so, but all the calls that I used to get as a lawyer had to do with people pleading to PSIs. Those mamas would call me and say, the lawyer promised this. Well, lawyer can't promise you anything. That's what plea bargaining is for. Then you know exactly what you're gonna get. It's written on the paper, you've signed it, it's down there forevermore. But PSIs can be too disappointing.
It was disappointing for a lot of people at age 94.
Oh yeah.
It was disappointing to a lot of young men, and they wasn't in Joe Keagan. So, again, like, and I tell the youth right now, if you did it, try not to play with these people, because they'll give you a number that you really can't handle.
Right.
And even though I did make it home, thank you God, but I shouldn't have been there that long.
Yeah, that was a long time.
Especially, like, I didn't shoot nobody. I didn't hurt nobody, and I shouldn't have been there that long. But I don't regret nothing that happened. Everything happened for a reason, and I'm still here to tell the story.
Well, at least you didn't shoot nobody, you didn't kill nobody. But so let's talk about this. So we'll move on from the PSI, because we know that's a trap.
Yes.
And I've told you, I've only done a PSI one time, because the guy was super, super guilty. And if I went to a jury, it was his first real offense, but they would have gotten life.
Yes.
Oh, it was horrible, okay?
Yes.
Horrible. And so I would, so I think I forgot what the judge gave him. I thought it was 40 years. I talked to the judge about it the other day, and she said, no, she thinks she gave him 25. I can't remember. I've represented over 1,000 people, so I can't remember all the little details.
Right.
But I know the mom was mad at me, because she, just like you, she wanted the boy to do less time. It was a bad crime.
Right.
And it was a gang of them.
Right.
So yeah, it was bad. I mean, like, it caused, it was bad. So anyway, we'll move on. Let's talk about you in prison. So you 17 to 18, you get 45 years when you didn't expect to get 45 years. Now you gotta go. You've been arrested 18 times as a juvenile, but you little and short and small, and so now you gotta go in there with the big league. About how big were you then?
Because I always paid attention to my weight, so.
Yeah, well, just guess.
When I went in, I was about 145. I was like maybe 135, 145. I mean,
that's the size of a girl.
I hate to say that, but.
I'm just saying, that's how much, most women, if they weigh 135, 145, they happy.
Because you've been in the
They slim.
I've been in the streets, so I wasn't eating right,
Right.
And when I got to the penitentiary, well, before I went to the penitentiary, I got a chance to get warm, prepped for the penitentiary. I got a friend of mine, shout out to Rock, they call him Rock, Arbitrator. So he had already been to the penitentiary. So I ran with two other people, Denise Briscoe and Pardue. It was us three young dudes, we were wild. So it was an older cat that told us, showed us how to fight, showed us our techniques and whatever. And, mentally prepared us for what we was going to. And me, I still had this attitude problem. So when we went to see our caseworkers for placement to what unit we were going to, I gave the caseworker some attitude. So while everybody else was going to the more lenient facilities, they sent me to B01, which is in Dallas. I'm from Houston, Dallas. So Houston and Dallas, they really didn't get along like that. So especially when it's football season, Dallas Cowboys versus the Houston Texans. But when I got there, it was a different world. Wasn't nobody going home, wasn't nobody seeing parole. And, you're just a kid. You know, you're a kid there with all these grown people. You don't want to accept nothing from nobody because you don't know what their agenda is. You hear the stories about people getting raped and stuff like that, and you just, now, if you have any kind of faith, if you believe in God, you asking God to guide you because you don't know. You know, I had made knives, you know. I got caught with knives in there.
So how do you make a knife?
Well, let me rephrase that.
A fork?
I didn't make it, I found it.
Okay.
So like they had us working, and I picked cotton and everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I picked cotton. I'm good in horticulture because of, they made us go to the fields back then. So I found a shank that was already made in the fields.
Oh wow.
And this is when I knew that I needed protection because a friend of mine was a Crip. I was non-affiliated. But a friend of mine was in a gang, and there was a bunch of gang activity inside the penitentiary. And I told him, we both reached down to grab the knife, and then I'm asking him, like, why you need a knife when you protected by a color? I ain't protected by nothing. I need the knife more than you need it because I'm by myself. And he was like, even though I'm protected, he was like, man, it go down. And I didn't really know what that meant, you know. So we ended up cutting the knife in half, and we both split, you know, he got half the knife, I got half the knife. Well, I ended up getting caught with the knife by a guard, a TDC guard, but she understood my situation, and she just threw it back in the cell, and she told me just be careful because she knew what I was dealing with and what kind of unit I was on. Because not too many days before that, my celly had got killed. My cellmate had got killed.
And what was that cellmate's name?
They called him Detroit because he was from Detroit, and he only had a 15-year non-ag sentence.
Wow.
So a 15-year non-ag sentence turned into never coming home at all. So a lot of people.
About how long was he your celly before he got killed?
I think we were selling at least for over a year. At least for over a year.
And he had 15 non-ag.
And he had 15 non-ag, which means that he really ain't had to do but 3 years or something like that on it. And by him being on that maximum security type unit, they kept setting him off. Not because he was getting in trouble, but the unit was a max security. So by being in the max, the parole tend to judge you how they want to judge you. Even though the judge say, I'm gonna give you 15, you'll come up with 3.5, if you're doing good, you can go home. Parole don't say it like that. Parole be like, you got 15, yeah, you come up with 3.5, but I think you need to do some more time. So they'll give you a set off after set off after set off, where after doing 7 years, now he been there 7 years on the 15, non-aggravated. Now he there for several years, and he was a good guy. But he wanted to be a part of the penitentiary life, which at this time, because now, you know, he don't have faith in the parole board. So he wanted to, you know, get into some illegal activities inside the penitentiaries, and he ran across a guy they called Lowdown.
Wow.
And Lowdown, my celly ended up having the officer bring him some items in that wasn't supposed to be allowed in TDC. And my celly ended up selling them to Lowdown. And Lowdown didn't pay my celly for the month for what he gave him. So now my celly don't have the money to pay the officer again, which my celly owed some more people.
Oh, wow.
And these other people, they wasn't black, and they were feeling like because he black, he played games like all the rest of the blacks do. And they told him, hey, I need my money. And he don't know what to say because he really not a street person like that. And he like, well, ain't nothing I can do. So one morning when he went to breakfast, the white dude came behind him and sliced his neck off.
Oof.
And when they picked him up, they had to hold his neck together, but he was dead on the spot.
Oh my God.
So.
How much do you think he owed him to get his neck sliced?
If I'm correct, I think it might have been $100 or it might have been less.
My Lord.
It might have been $100. It might have been less, but this is.
Did you see him get his neck sliced?
Nah, they came beating on my cell, telling me, "Hey, your celly just got killed. Your celly just got killed." So I'm like, somebody get stabbed right here and now, but ain't nobody. He ain't dead.
Right.
But he was dead. You know,
Wow.
he was dead.
Did you get to see him with his head cut off? What do they do when they do that? Do they give him funerals or burn him up? And what do they
Well,
do? You know?
his family came to the parking lot of the unit for a virtual visual, but I don't really know what they do with the bodies. I think if the family pay for it, they'll let the body come to where they at, or they have a penitentiary graveyard that they'll probably bury him in. I think that's in Huntsville somewhere. So
that's what your first celly that got killed. Talk
Yeah.
about some other celly stuff that happened.
well, another situation, you know, I ended up getting stabbed in my neck. Well, they told him to teach me a lesson. So the knife that he had, they took it from him and told him, "Hey."
Was that your knife or the celly's knife?
Nah, it was another dude.
Okay, totally another.
We wasn't selling, we was friends.
Okay.
But we was the type of friends where he felt like he could have me selling stuff for him and paying me cheap, you know. Like a lot of people inside the system, if they feel like they can't do their dirty work, they try to get somebody to do it for them because you cool with, like I was cool with everybody, Crips, Bloods, folks. I was cool with everybody, but some Bloods ain't cool with some Crips or whatever. So I was neutral, so I was good with everybody. And this dude had me selling cigarettes for him. And he felt like I guess he felt like I was just some little kid. I'm gonna give him what I want to give him. So I took all this stuff. I took everything he had, from his toothpaste, soap, everything. So he didn't know I did it though.
How are you gonna get in somebody else's cell?
Easy. I'm gonna wait till they roll the door, and I'm gonna go in there, pack your stuff, and then I'm gonna wait till they roll the door again.
Okay.
See, because the guard has to come down the row. So before the guard actually come down the row, it's gonna be some people in front of me that's gonna block me from the guard before the guard even sees that I got anything. Or you have what they call SSIs. So if you put the SSI on the play, the SSI, you could get the stuff to the SSI, and the SSI can move it somewhere else before they roll the door, and you just come out and you know. But when we have a field unit, most of the whole part be gone. So if I come in early in the morning, I sneak in and sneak out because I play by the mentality of the people. I know if it's early in the morning, half of the people ain't paying attention to what's going on or what happened. So don't nobody know I did it, but I have a reputation for doing it.
Oh yeah, because you said you were a
Yeah.
thief in the outside world.
Yeah.
You're a burglar, so you're gonna be a burglar
I'm
inside.
a burglar on the inside because I didn't want to be a burglar, but they was feeding us Vitapro. They was feeding us dog food, or they were feeding us something they called Vitapro, and it was dog food. So at the time, I felt like I'm gonna tell my mama what to do. I'm gonna tell my mama she's not sending me enough money, and I don't want no pictures of my daughter. I want my daughter up here. So my mama like, okay, if I ain't sending you enough money, if you don't like what I'm doing, I'm gonna just let you suffer for a little while.
Okay.
So
Now you're mad.
Yeah,
'cause your
now I'm
mama's
mad.
not sending you no money.
Not sending me no money. They giving me Vitapro. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna pray on the weak. You know, if you weaker than me, then you got a problem, cause your mama sending you some money.
Right.
So I'm gonna take your stuff because you good. Yeah, I take it. You can go back the next week or whatever. So that's how I lived my life for a little while, and I knew I could get away with it. So I did that a little while, and one of the dudes got fed up, and he blamed it on the Crips, but all along in his mind he knew that it was me. So one day he came up behind me, and I had been to boot camp when I learned how to see through my peripheral vision. So I'm paying attention to him, talking to me behind my back, but I'm looking at him through my peripheral vision. And when he got ready to swing, they took the knife and gave him a pencil. So when he got ready to swing the pencil, it went in, but by me jerking, it didn't go in far enough. The nurse said if he would have went in a little bit farther, he would have hit my jugular vein and I'd have died. So by the grace of God, he didn't do that.
But it still bled and stuff.
But it still bled some.
Yeah.
But I used to wear my pinky nails a little long, And I blamed it I told the nurse I told her, because we got caught, I told the officer that I stuck myself with my nail, and he was like, well, if we go to this infirmary and they say something different, I'm locking both of y'all up. So
And did y'all have a fight afterwards, or did
we
he
had a
stab
fight
you?
then. Well,
So
he
when he
stabbed me, and he had a canned good in the sock that he was trying to hit me with. But I told him, you might well put this didn't work, so don't use the can. Let's just fight, straight up.
Right.
Don't use no weapon. Let's just fight each other.
Right.
So we fought each other, ended up getting caught, and they seen I was bleeding from the neck, sent us to the infirmary, and he said, we told him it was good, we were just playing, and we told him that I stuck myself in with my nail. So he said, if the nurse tell me that it's different, that you got stabbed, I'm locking both of y'all up. But I told you about the shank and how the woman looked out for me then. Now, the nurse woman the same way. She say, nah, it look like he probably scratched himself. But she telling me, hey, if he would have, she say, I don't know what you're doing, but be careful, because if he would have went a little bit further. So here it is, black women. Let's get a shout out to black women, because the black woman told me not to sign the PSI. The black woman caught me with the knife and threw it back in the cell. And then the black woman in the infirmary didn't give us up for me to go to lockup. So we ended up going back to the cell, but he did something to make them ship him off the unit. So I wasn't able to see him again because he did something to get off the unit.
Wow, that's crazy. So I know you told me before about somebody that turned into a bully. What was the guy you told me he turned to a bully after 7 months? He was gonna get out in 7 months. Who was that? Wasn't that one of your cellies?
Nah, I was in Super Seg.
Okay.
So
let's talk about Super Seg. Tell people what Super Seg is.
Super Seg is when you in the cell 23 hours, you only get 1 hour of recreation. So you're in the cell 23 hours. You got a shower inside the cell, but it only come on for 20 minutes. And you got a cellmate, so you get 10 minutes, he get 10 minutes. So y'all have to be creative, unless if you don't get creative, you're gonna be woke while he naked right there, and So most of us we make some string and we tie a string along the cell, and then we put a blanket on it. Well, at this time it was a young dude that was across from me. He wasn't my celly, but he was across from me, and he they teaching him how to fight or whatever. He wasn't number 17. They was teaching him how to fight. He learned his little full techniques, his foot techniques. But then he was also taken from his own organization. Because he was tall and he was big, he was bullying people inside the penitentiary. So
when you said his organization, you mean a gang?
Yeah, a gang organization. Okay. So when he got out,
what was his gang? Do you remember?
Crip. So he did 5 years. And he came home, and he got up under a famous rapper. So he up under a famous rapper in Houston, and he still, got this chest. He got this what's the word I'm looking for? He got
macho bully mentality.
Yeah, that he that bad guy. Basically because you've been trained in the penitentiary, and then you come out, and now you whooping the weak, because most of these young dudes, they think they know how to fight, but they don't, especially if they ain't been trained the way us in the penitentiary been trained. So he got out, got up under the famous rapper, and then one dude, I don't know what he did to him, but in the news article, he said he shot 3 people. He killed 2, and I think 1 just got injured. But 1 was a girl. And one was a girl, and 1 was himself. So he died.
So the guy in prison died?
Yeah, he died.
So somebody killed him?
Somebody killed him out here in the world.
But I thought he was the one that shot 2 people, 3 people.
No, somebody came by and shot him.
Oh, okay.
He was bullying in there, came to the world, did something in the world, and they shot him. He went from 17 to 23, 5-year sentence. And it didn't take but 7 months for him to get killed once he got home. And there's a lot of stories like that. There's some people that got killed as soon as they got out. There's some people, so it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but I try to talk to a lot of kids about their situations and their circumstances and how to prevent certain things, because if you don't know that life is short, life is short. You only get one, and you got to be careful who told you step on, because some people, they might not look the part, but they might take you out the game because of how you acting.
Right. Some people are more dangerous than they look.
Yeah, and most of the people that did the killing wasn't no major big bully people. They were people. If you look at some of the killings of these school shooters and stuff, these be little white boys. There aren't too many black kids doing that. Black kids just going to shoot each other because they're robbing them off a game.
Right.
Well, a little white boy just got some mental
Problem wants to kill everybody.
And he just go kill everybody. He might have killed his mom and daddy first, and then he went to the school. You know.
And I don't know what's in these kids' mind, black or white. What's in their mind to do all this killing?
There is no structure on there. You have to be able to identify with a child from the beginning. Like, you can't be too distant from your child's life. You got to be a part of your child's life for as much as you can. I know a lot of people got to work and they don't have that type of time, but when you don't have that type of time, somebody else is raising your child. Or if you don't have that type of time, some of your children can go into a depression stage. And when they get into these stages, they watch certain shows or they play certain games, and then eventually they want to become the character that they playing. And I woke up one day and I wanted to shoot the TV. I always wanted to shoot the TV.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why did you want to shoot the TV? Is this before you went to prison?
Yeah, before I went to prison. Because I just wanted to shoot it. The power of the gun, we can take it back to, I try to teach that when you watch Thundercats or when you watch He-Man or whatever cartoon you like, they always try to keep the power away from evil, because evil will destroy the world, right?
Right.
So the good guy always try to make sure that the evil person don't succeed. So most kids, when they get possession of a firearm, you think, I just got it for protection, I ain't gonna do nothing with it. Nah, most kids that have a firearm, they're gonna want to use it at some point in time. And then, let's say if I was scary, if I was scary at this level, a pistol raises my macho-ness up like this. So now I'm walking around daring somebody to get in my way because I have power. And you got to be careful who you get that power to, because some people use that power for the wrong reasons.
Well, don't you think that some kids are thinking, I have the power and I want to use it, but I don't want to go to prison? So how does a young man couple those two
Nobody's
thoughts?
thinking about prison.
They ain't thinking about prison.
Who's talking about prison? Nobody.
They watch the news every night. Well, I guess they're going to prison on the news. They just shooting
play
people.
the game every night.
Oh, so you think the video games do have an effect?
Yes, I think.
I think so too.
And the music.
And the music.
But some people tell you the music don't. So I heard a lot of people say the music is not the reason why. Yes, it is. When I was young, I put Scarface in, and Scarface had my mind. My crime came from a rap group, Street Military. They had a song called Houston Hardhead Kick Door Burglars. I wanted to be a kick door police, imitating police officers. That came from a song.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So nowadays, and I hate it because I've been in the music industry, but ain't nobody going against the music industry. The music is raising the kids. And I hate it. Everybody, people gonna say this one way, and a lot of people gonna say this another way. But a lot of people that have influence over your child's mind, they're not rapping. Back in our days, we did, at least when Scarface put out a gangsta album, at least he had a good song. A minute, you only get a minute to pray, second to die, or Street Life, or at least he had something positive to say. These days it's just straight shooting. Right. It's just straight gunning. And then you wonder why the kid pick up I'm gonna give you a prime example. I got out. I married a woman. She had some young.
When you
children.
got out after 25
Yes.
years?
I married a woman. She had two
Are you
young
still married
kids.
to her now?
Yeah, we're still married.
Okay.
The kid was 15, and I think the other was 13, right?
Boys, both boys?
Boys, yeah. One of them wanted to rap. He didn't. He good at rapping. He was make believing what he had. But then a couple of years later, he started having what he was make believe rapping. He started really having it.
Like what?
Guns.
Okay.
So it all became.
And he had the
because-
guns in the household?
Yeah, not in my household.
Okay.
But rest in peace to his grandmother. At the time, his grandmother was living, and she passed away, and he
would go to her house a lot?
He would go. Well, nobody living in there. They were living homeless inside the house, sometimes with no lights on.
Okay. So when you say they, it was who?
Him and his brother.
Okay, so they left your house,
Yeah.
you and his mother's house, and went over to the.
Cause my house come with structure,
Okay.
and I
You weren't
can't-
gonna let them mess up like you messed
Not
up.
only that, I saved one of the sons a couple of times. When I got out, he was on probation already, and then he was about to get on probation again for something he didn't do. And the lawyer that he had told him, man, just go ahead and sign this. And I was like, nah, if you didn't do it, I was like, you said, if you didn't do it, nah.
You don't sign for nothing.
He went to, I want to say her name was Belinda Hill.
Yeah, that was a judge named Belinda Hill.
I'm not for sure if that's who he went in front of a black judge, and she was telling him the same thing. Well, did you do it? And he was like, nah, I didn't do it.
Well,
but
you can't sign for
he
nothing you
was
didn't do.
almost getting mad at me because I'm from the streets. This is a lawyer. Oh, this is a lawyer. He got to know what he's talking about. And I'm telling him, nah, he's trying to railroad you. If you didn't do it, stand on you didn't do it. If you did do it, accept what you got coming. And he stood on he didn't do it, and he beat the case.
Right, that's what you have to do.
No. And we had a fight. Me and him had a fight.
This fight?
I didn't touch him. I just showed him that I could touch him.
I got you.
I taught him a lesson without having to even fight him. And now we real cool with each other.
But like you said, you on parole, so you couldn't have those guns in the house, and he's trying to bring guns in the house. I got you.
He wasn't trying. He already had the respect not to.
I see.
But
he knew he had to leave if he wanted to live that life.
So he had the respect not to. But he a good kid now. And on top of that, he's legally, because he was 15, then he's 21 now.
Okay, so now he can have
legally pack.
But does he have a felony conviction?
He don't have a felony conviction. He can legally, because I told him, why would you get a legal gun when you can own one legally in Texas?
At 21, you can go buy one, yeah.
And he doesn't have it for the sake of wanting to use it for the wrong reason, because it's mine.
Right.
Now I'm using it to protect myself or protect my family. See, that's another different mindset. If you're a kid and you got an illegal gun, you want to do illegal activities.
Right.
But if it's registered to me, I'm going to use it for the right reasons.
Right.
It changes your whole mindset. Amazing.
Amazing. That is amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing. What happened to your daughter?
My daughter, she's 30 right now. We still haven't had that talk.
25 years. You were there gone a long time, so she doesn't know you.
At 13, like, we were cool until she got like 12 or 13. Now she realizing that, hey, my dad ain't coming home. And now, my grandmother thought that she under the old law. She thought you do 10 years, you are on any sentence, you automatically coming home. I ain't came home after 10 years. You doing something you ain't got no business doing down there.
Right.
That's what I thought. So with my daughter, it became you ain't coming home.
Right.
So she just switched on me.
Right.
She had started not wanting to talk to me or nothing. Now,
it was painful for her.
Flip it over to right now. We don't have the best relationship, but at least we all right with each other.
Okay, well, just be available when she wants to come.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, really, that was tough for her not to have a father, or to say that her biological was in prison. So that was tough.
She might see this. So I just want her to know that, I'm always open for the talk. And then I want to tell you, I went to Wortham. And I went to Wortham to talk to some kids. And they had a curriculum where a lot of these kids was infected by some of their parents getting locked up,
right.
or whatever the reason. And I had to sit down in front of a little girl, and the little girl asked me, I had to play like I was her daddy, and the little girl asked me, Daddy, why you leave me and my mama?
Ooh, that's cold.
I didn't even get the word, I just started crying.
Start crying. Oh, yeah, because your daughter was in pain.
I said, I can't, how could I, we supposed to be pretending.
Right.
How could I pretend something that...
When I did. That's my life. This is my life.
Yeah.
This is my life.
And not only that, I ain't even had this talk with my daughter yet, and you saying the same things that I was.
But you know, that's God.
Yeah.
You know, the talk you can't have with your daughter,
yeah.
you had with somebody else. You know, it's the same. You had it with another person's daughter.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gave her a piece, or at least a little understanding of something that you couldn't give to your own daughter. So you just passed it forward, you know?
Right.
And that's what life is about.
And Word and love me right now today. They be wanting me to come back and speak to the kids there.
Tell me another story before we have to go. Tell me another prison story.
So
we got 10 minutes, so you're supposed to be thinking of them before you got here.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a prison story when I thought I was gonna lose a fight. Okay. I had to fight somebody named Mad Dog.
Okay.
Cause I had persuaded somebody to take some stuff from some Mexicans, and some of my homeboys felt like they had to show the Mexicans that I was getting punished.
Okay.
So they set up a fight between me and this dude, Mad Dog. Now, Mad Dog, he got big muscles, everything. So in my mind, I automatically lost the fight.
Right.
But when Mad Dog hit me, his punch was so weak that I ended up beating Mad Dog up.
What?
Yeah, that was the spark of my career in the penitentiary. But I changed my life. Remember, I got stabbed in the neck. I beat Mad Dog up. But I was doing the wrong things when I first got to the penitentiary. Once I left that unit to go be with my daddy, my daddy was locked up too. I told you he had a life sentence. And
you hadn't said it in this show, so you need to say that.
Yeah,
so your dad wasn't there. A lot of your problems came because your father wasn't there.
Right.
He was doing life for killing somebody?
Killing somebody,
okay.
Yeah, so I end up taking the trade to go on the unit where my daddy was at. And me and my daddy established a relationship in the penitentiary. We played basketball against each other, even though they cheated because probably he was older than me and they wanted them to win. But when I left Beto and I went to this other unit, they told me, they were like, youngster, you know, change your life before somebody kill you. You know, because I was in the penitentiary playing dirty games before I ended up changing my life around. And I thank God that I was able to move around before, but it was plenty of times in the penitentiary I could have lost my life. There was plenty of times in the world I could have lost my life too, before I went in, you know.
And how old are you now?
Now I had to say my real age.
Yeah, 55.
50.
50. Okay.
Do I look 55?
No, I just thought that's what you were. I'm sorry, I thought you told me that last time. I knew it was a 5. I just didn't know. I thought it was 2 5s.
I'll be
you gonna be 50 this year?
Next week.
Oh, next week. Okay, good.
Monday I'll be 50.
Okay, all right.
Monday I'll be 50, and
so what that mean? You was born in 75?
I was born in 75.
Okay.
I'm the ecosystem coordinator around Houston right now. I get a lot of communities together, and I give peace days, protecting our people, uplifting peace, and I throw events all around Houston alongside Damian Walker, and also DJ. I do Uber, and I'm out here trying to be productive. You know, I'm also changing lives right now because I'm CVI trained, community violence intervention. So I intervene gun violence at the highest level in some of the communities around Houston. So
you're giving back to the community that you terrorized when you were young.
So our bad didn't come out of me. Everything happened for a reason.
Well, 25 years is a long time. What year did you get out?
I got out in 2019.
Okay.
2019. So next month, this is June, July, will be 6 years I've been out.
6 years. So, okay, you've had to rebuild your life, and life is totally different from when you went in.
Way,
94.
Way different. But
we didn't use our cell phones as much. We didn't deal with the internet at all, really, back then.
But you still have a lot of youth that's still challenged, that's mentally challenged.
Right.
And we still have a lot of broken homes.
Absolutely.
So what was going on with me back then it's still happening to a lot of kids right now. And it's important. That's why we have people like myself that they call credible messengers to be able to go and identify with a lot of the youth that's coming up now. And that's very important because they try to take the funding and stuff from the community violence and intervention people. But these are some of the people that can actually help some of these kids, because these kids, this generation, they're not trying to hear it.
They running wild.
They're not trying to hear it. But if they know they up against somebody that got the same energy as them, they tend to back down a little bit. And we just saved, I think, when I was with Harris County, I think we interrupted like 25 situations.
That's great.
And I know me and Damon talked about it before, but I was at a situation where a dude got shot 70 some times.
Oh my God.
You know, and I was able to help assist a person that was going to retaliate from that, change his life around in church.
Wow.
And he'd been in church. The day that we talked to him, he never missed church, and that's been almost 2 years now. And not only that, he's a supervisor with Harris County Public Health Department right now, interrupting violence in the neighborhood. And not only that, one person that we was working with that's real, that was violent, that I was trying to get to come to the organization, he wasn't ready. But now he working with Harris County, interrupting the violence in the neighborhood. So now you got, coming from me and my friend that could identify troublemakers, we end up mentoring to two troublemakers that end up working for Harris County Public Health right now.
Wonderful.
That's bringing a lot of other troublemakers to the forefront to face their demons, to be able to go out and help the community. And
that's a
how you
beautiful
gotta do
thing.
it.
Do y'all meet regularly? Like some of the groups meet, like at my church, Path to Freedom, they meet on Thursdays.
Right.
So you can keep interacting, because even though they have jobs, you know, it's easy to have that trigger to move
Right.
back when you're still young and you haven't done a bunch of time.
Right.
You know, you've done a bunch of time. You've done
Right.
25 years, so you already know where you don't want to go back.
Right.
But they still don't know.
Yeah, they still, and it's still a battle that you're gonna have to, as long as you play the music, we play the music that we play,
Stop listening to it.
and as long as we keep playing games with our community, we're gonna continue to get the same results. A lot of kids in a lot of places in Houston, they ain't got nothing else to do. They don't got nothing to do but to click up with each other, and then it don't be, some of the kids be some of the nicest kids. I just lost I'm kin to a family that just lost a good kid. And this good kid was hanging around the wrong people, and the wrong people got into it with somebody. They started shooting in the house. And the little kid jumped over to his neighbor's house to get away from the gunshots, and the neighbor killed the kid. This beautiful young kid, the neighbor killed him because he didn't know what was going on.
So the kid trying to get away from the shooting
Right.
got shot by the neighbor.
Got shot by the neighbor.
Now, why'd the neighbor just shoot him? Didn't he know he was a
He
good
didn't
kid?
know- I
Oh,
don't
he didn't
think
know the kid.
I don't think he knew the kid. I don't know. It might have been dark.
Okay.
He know the kid because it's his next door neighbor.
Okay.
But I don't know that he knew that was the kid that he was shooting.
Was he trying to get in his house? I mean, why did he
Nah,
just
he
shoot
was
him?
he was just getting away from the situation that was happening.
I know, but
right
why
there
did the
and
neighbor shoot him what is he doing to get shot? Was he trying to get into the neighbor's house?
No, he was just,
In
I
the
don't know
yard?
if he was trying to get in the house. I
Okay.
just know he was in the backyard.
Okay, he was in the
So
backyard.
I don't know if he was trying to get in the house because he knew the person in there,
Right, he
and
could've
he was
been.
calling for help because of what was going on in his own house. I don't know, but I do know that his neighbor ended up killing a 17-year-old kid. 17-year-old, beautiful. He went to North Shore. He was an athlete, a good athlete, and he was, to my knowledge, he wasn't doing nothing wrong.
Damn.
But he had people that, and this is a lot of kids around Houston. A lot of the good kids ain't doing nothing wrong. There's always one person out of the bunch, but they got to know how to identify and say, "Nah, man, I'm not down with that." And a lot of kids, they face so much peer pressure that they don't know how to say that. We can go back to '93. I know you probably know about when them 4 kids had killed a homosexual. They got probation, but it wasn't all of them that wanted to do it.
Right.
So a lot of us as kids, we faced with nothing to do. So Peace Pop Up, at least Peace Pop Up once a month. We go into a neighborhood and we feed you. We bring job resources. We bring the healthcare department. You know, we bring entertainment. We give you a few hours of fun time with people that want to have fun and want to be able to help the youth out.
Right.
You know, if your youth don't want to be helped out, then sometimes you have to let that youth go. You know, don't let that youth be a rotten apple to the rest of your kids.
Right.
You know,
That's true.
and then stop trying to tell people that they can't talk to your child, because when they get to the penitentiary, they're gonna get looked at. They're gonna have to fight as soon as they get out the door.
As soon as they get out the door.
As soon as they get out the door.
Oh, you didn't even get to tell me the story about that we talked about before, about Joe White in Dallas.
Yeah,
and then,
Joe White and Karate Sam.
And Karate
Shout
Sam.
out to Karate Sam. Karate Sam, he was like, he knew karate. He got stabbed on Ferguson. They sipped and beat over. But Karate Sam was a person that the little people could go to, you know, for help when they got to fight a big person. Because Dallas always tried to
beat up Houston.
If they can get away with it, they'll try to punk somebody out of Houston. And Karate Sam always stood up for a lot of the little guys. And when Karate Sam got to stand up for a little while, a lot of Dallas would have went to go get Joe White. And then Joe White and Karate Sam would be in the gym, and it'd be like a big royal. It's Karate Sam and Joe White for the fight. You know, so Karate Sam, he out right now. I love him to death, and I appreciate it because he always had my back. I didn't join the gang, but I had Karate Sam. And as long as I had Karate Sam, that was like another one of my angels. As long as Karate Sam was there, I felt like I could go against the world.
Wow. Well, you got to have friends everywhere you go.
Yes, ma'am.
You got to have support. And so I'm glad you got out after 25 years. You're still in your right mind. You haven't lost your mind. Hopefully you're getting some kind of therapy. Harris Health.
My therapy comes from the community.
Okay.
Like every time I'm helping out a young person, it helps
That's
me.
therapeutic for you.
Yes, it helps me a little bit more to understand, because you have to, with a lot of kids, you have to find the common denominator. You got to find out what y'all might have in common to be able to even talk to them. And, you know, my relationship, like being married, ain't been all that good, but being around the people that been through it, the women that's been divorced that I could talk to.
All right, they're telling me to wrap it up. So say something to wrap it up. Say something about how people can get in touch with either the pop-ups, are they on Facebook, credible messengers. If some moms are watching this that need help with their children, where can they get these organizations that you're with?
Okay, I'm Brian Young. We got a peace pop-up July 19th at McGregor Park, 10 to 5. Bring the kids. But if you want to get in touch with me, you can get in touch with me through Damian Walker with Cognitive Justice International.
Cognitive Justice International.
Or you can follow the Peace Pop-Up page, and you can always leave a message. Peace Pop-Up page is on Facebook, and it's also on Instagram. And you can leave a message. I would give you my personal phone number,
Don't do that.
but that might not be a good
That might not be a good idea, but yes. All right.
Yes.
Thank you for watching Truth and Justice with Vivian King and Brian Young. Good night. Thank you for tuning in again tonight.
Tonight we have something really